Let's go, let's go. 5-9J, we out here. Nickel, yeah.
C-Dub on the beat.
Slide through that city, made that Chevy swerve. The bank account jumping, gotta do a twerk. Keep hating like you is and get your feelings hurt. I got the 10 cent low, letting semi burn. What's good with everybody, man? I hope everybody's having a productive day, feeling blessed. Like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. Well, I had a video I was gonna do about a Sureño who got caught slipping in Merced. I went to sleep last night, woke up. Everybody said, hey, bro, check out this, check this out. So I was like, you know what? I'll get into it, then I'll do the other one right afterwards. You know what I mean? So let's get into the video. With that being said, hit that subscribe button, hit that like. Always leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Check the links in the description for my Apple and Spotify music. Go ahead and run my streams up. Or you can go to my YouTube channel playlist section, Renegade Music, to listen to all my music right there. Thank you guys for you guys' time. Most importantly, thank you guys for you guys' support. Well, we all know the big homies are running the yard right now, and they're running the yard. But you know, being that a lot of these big homies actually got released from the shoes and now they're back on the yard, I always looked at it like this. One, you have the proper leadership in place right there to oversee everything. So you don't have to wait for a letter, or you don't have to make a good call or a bad call and then wait for their approval or wait for their investigation on you and then get you removed later. They're right then and there. So you can get a lot of things done, and you can get the blessings from them, or they can make the decisions necessary so you don't lose your career. You know, it eliminates a lot of possibilities of you getting yourself in a wreck with the proper leadership in place. But we all know they all came to the yard for one thing and one thing only: money, drugs, power. It's plain and simple. Well, I know about Michael Torres, aka Fly, who was a Mexican Mafia member, just a little bit, only because one of the Sureños I used to talk to that was an ex-Sureño who used to be Marcelli was in LA County Jail and told me how he operated it a little bit. He gave me like a sneak preview, and I looked at it like, man, that's pretty smart. I'll tell you about it in a little bit. But, you know, news articles and YouTube and everybody else is saying that Michael Torres was blasted on the yard by two other members. Obviously, this was a Mexican Mafia member who ran San Fernando Valley. Man, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I want to go to San Fernando Valley only for the porn conventions, bro. That is on my bucket list, bro. I swear to God, I will be there. I have a crazy story about a Sureño and the porn convention I'm going to tell one day. I just got to remember his name, but I know the Sureño, he was from Anaheim. We were on the main line together. The individual was responsible for San Fernando Valley, and he also ran LA County Jail's drug racketeering, drug smuggling, and he ran the streets. He was serving 133 years to life. So obviously this man wasn't not going home. I don't think he was looking forward to going home. Honestly, I think men like this who have this kind of political power and are doing life don't really care about the possibilities of paroling. I don't think they really sit there and pay attention and say, you know what, I might just try to do good because new laws are coming out where lifers can, you know, have the possibility of parole one day. I don't think it matters to him at all whatsoever. So this individual got stabbed in California State Prison in Sacramento, New Folsom, and he got blasted pretty bad. He got blasted by these two individuals. But the individuals who killed him were Ray Martinez and Juan Martinez. They're not related though. But Ray Martinez went by Cisco, who was actually another Mexican Mafia member. Now the other guy, I know he has an MS on his neck. That's the other individual, Juan Martinez. I don't know if he was connected or, you know, he was looking to, you know, the books got open and he decided to, you know, jump in and say, you know what, this is when I'm going to make my bones. But we all know it takes place like that. But I also know that, you know, Mexican Mafia members or Nuestra Familia members, usually when you're a carnal, you get hit by your own. You don't get hit by fellow soldados. So maybe some things have changed. So I'm going to make the assumption that Juan might be either a Mexican Mafia member who's, you know, probably a new recruit and a new member, doesn't have a big name reputation, because it didn't provide his nickname in the article, but it did provide Cisco, being that he was a Mexican Mafia member. And it's always going to be a brother hitting another brother. That's always been a policy for the Black Hand and the NF. But trip out on that. Think about that for a little bit. I was on the streets and we were looking for new flowers, and the big homies told us to find a Weddle Tea, which is a new flower from Tulare. Silver specifically from Fatima said this: if you guys catch them, bring them to me. But don't take matters into your own hands. Don't kill them. And we were like, bro, he's like, enemy, bro. Like, you're sending us on a mission with guns. Like, how am I supposed to walk up to somebody and be like, hey, bro, do you mind putting your hands behind your back and getting in the back of the vehicle? Silver wants to talk to you. You want me to pull a gun on a gunner who guns at homies all day, every day, for the sole purpose that he wants to kill any NF members or any norteños soldados on the streets. And you're sending me over there to have a casual conversation with them, but strapped up, like I'm about, hey, bro, can you get in the car, please? Yeah, I'll take you to McDonald's in a little bit, bro. You know, you want an Egg McMuffin before you die? Oh, I got you on Egg McMuffin. You want orange juice or you want chocolate milk, bro? I prefer to have orange juice. Yeah, right. You serious? But even when I worked for Bubbles, there was a couple of individuals that were going to be targeted that were end souls. And Bubbles was like, personally, NF members can't take him out. You guys will. We're just sanctioning the hit. But he also told me too, is like, if I ever need a carnal removed, you guys will help, but we'll be the ones to do it. You guys don't ever put hands on another carnal. And in my head, I'm like, if the fool got deemed no good, and you greenlighted this other carnal, or a new flower that used to be a carnal, you know, a C dropout, but he's greenlighted, what's the difference, bro? You're gonna down him anyways. At least you could be part of it. I can, we could do some Italian Mafia stuff, go dig a hole out in the outskirts in where they do the pistachios or something, or the nuts, and then we can just dig a little hole right there. Or we can go to, Porterville Success, the lake, and just dump them in there. Who knows? We could have did a lot of things, but instead they were like, no, you just grab them and you bring them to me. Bro, I'm not anybody that's going to die is going to go on their own accord, bro. I can't just escort the man to you. I'm not the gang secret service, bro. He's not just going to voluntarily say, oh, Bubbles wants to talk to me to dome me? Yeah, I'll be right there right now. Hey, let me pack my stuff real quick. This ain't Donnie Brasco where that fool just literally took off all his stuff and walked over there and did his thing. So obviously a Mexican Mafia member took out another Mexican Mafia member. So, but look how I'm saying it. Now, we don't know why. I'm not going to sit here and speculate and fabricate some evidence and say, hey, bro, I talked to somebody that knew somebody that knows who. Unless they actually call me and then let me know, like, hey, bro, this is the true story. I'm only doing it on the basis of the article and the knowledge that I know than I have. You got to remember, these big homies coming out to the yard, you have to understand, they hadn't been on these yards for 20-something years, 30-something years. And now they come out here having access to unlimited amount of power, unlimited amount of greed. And throughout time and time again, these individuals will trump brotherhood with greed. They rather get money, power, and control than remember the concept in which they were founded on, which was, hey, we're brothers, we're Mexicanos, we come together, we banded together as brothers to go against every other ethnicity. But times have changed. Back then, they banded together as Mexicanos to go against the whites and go against the blacks to fight against the oppression. Once they realized that they were no longer going to be messed with and bullied and extorted, and seen how much power they can actually gain and how much they have gained and controlled over the years, I don't see how they didn't foresee the fact that they were going to start knocking each other down and killing one another over territory. Because that's all it's ever been based on, how much we can take over. They took over a lot of states. Sureños and Mexican Mafia members, especially the Mexican Mafia members that went to the USP and are running the rest of the United States from the USP, from the feds. It makes me ask myself, like, did they ever sit there and talk about, like, hey, bro, we're going to have to start taking each other out at some point? Obviously this is way too much territory for us to control. The members are like 200-300, maybe 400 at the most. But it's just like the saying goes, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. I don't know, so I don't know the circumstances and what took place with this situation. But a Mexican Mafia member named Cisco takes out, Michael Torres. I've been hearing about Michael Torres, for a long time. The only one I have a story about that's that's a little bit more different and more close, because I talked to many ex-Sureños that were Marcelis, was Fox. This one I didn't really hear too much other than, how he ran the LA County Jail with the racketeering and that. I'm going to explain how Marceli said it like this. There's a bunch of Sureños who run LA County Jail. When you first get in there, they have this P.O. box where you send all your money to. And it's like you send your money orders, you send your jail, however it is, your family sends money to this P.O. box, but they'll give you like a list. They'll give you like a $60 list. You can go to canteens. When you first get there, you get it, but you're sending like $100 back to that P.O. box. And everybody in county jail when they first get there is doing that. Or say if you ran out of canteen, you run out of food, and you need a front, the Sureños would do that. They'll be like, all right, carnal, hey, here's a list, $40, $50. We'll get you the store right now. And when your family gets paid, you're gonna send $100 to this. So it was like a big, like in prison they call it a tienda. Somebody ran their own store. Aside from the drugs being sold in LA County Jail and you sending money to that P.O. box, but that P.O. box was ran by Mexican Mafia members, and that's how they were just trickling their money, and that's how the racketeering was taking place. That's how my cellie explained it, more or less, and I was like, you know what, that's not bad, bro, because everybody that's going to go through county jail, they don't want to go without. Everybody's trying to get it there and eat. So, it was a smart strategic tactic of, racketeering and, getting some money in, quick on a draw. I respect that. But we're talking about an individual, Fly, who actually got sponsored from somebody from his old neighborhood, Weddle Buff, an old school Mexican Mafia member. Old school, one of the originals. So this individual's been around for a very long time. And I'm pretty sure he woke up that day not really having it in the back of his head like, man, this is my last day. This is it for me. My reign is over. Everybody's talked about the Roman Empire. That was a most powerful individual when it came to Mexican Mafia members. He was a king in the prison system. And then he got knocked down. I'm pretty sure Fly walked around here thinking like, man, I'm untouchable. I've been around this long. I've been doing it for this long. I've made this amount of money. I've gained this amount of control. I have this much manpower that will work for me, that will do what I say. And then woke up at 9 a.m. and went to Yard or went to the tier or wherever he went and got blasted. Which, mind you, he was older already, so he lived a fulfilled life, if you want to call it that. He went out with a bang. He stood mainline his whole life. Probably made some good calls. Probably made a lot of bad calls. Probably put a lot of people on the SNY side. His career is going to be talked about for a while. I'm one of the first to talk about it. But, there's going to be a lot more people that are going to talk about it. But we all know, the Mexican Mafia is going to be here for a long time. We know that. When one brother dies, or one brother's gone, or one brother passes away, the books open up every couple of years, every 2 to 5 years. And you're going to have a lot of camaradas striving to become members. More power to them. I respect that. You're going full-fledged with your belief system and your cause and what you're inspired to become. So be it. I just hope that after hearing all these stories time and time again, another Mexican Mafia member dies at the hands of another Mexican Mafia member, that some of these camaradas, some of these sureños that actually go in there and earn it, realize that if they continue to pursue this path and become one of these members, just to go in there prepared, go in there with your guard up, go in there ready to protect your back before somebody stabs it. We have a lot of sureños, we have a lot of camaradas that are in jail that are going to want to exceed those heights of power, that are actually doing life or never coming home for the stuff they did on the streets. So this is all they have to live for. So if this is all they have to live for, then yeah, they're going to pursue it. This is their life. This is their gang culture. Maybe some of these camaradas in the future might show up and make big changes. There's always going to be changes that need to be made. You got to adjust to the times. It's called adaptability. Then you're going to adopt new ways of thinking, adopt new ways of conducting business. And maybe in the near future, they can stop killing one another. But we're talking about a man who's been a Mexican Mafia member for 30-something years, since Weddle Buff was around. I was like, what, the 50s, 60s, or 70s? Yeah. Got sponsored by him and lost his life at 9 a.m. yesterday. Very unfortunate tragedy, but hey, he went down as a mafia boss. Sometimes there's a lot of honor in that. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of individuals on the SNY side that regret ever giving up their careers or sit there and tell themselves like, hey, bro, I could have been somebody if I would have just kept it solid, or if I wouldn't have ran up this drug debt, or if I wouldn't have fed my arm so much and I would have just stayed focused. Trust me, there's a lot of people on the SNY, and I can tell you that firsthand, that wish they would have became Mexican Mafia members or NF members. Trust me, I was one of them. But the boy died as a Mexican Mafia boss, so he will be talked about. But I just wanted to point out the aspect that, he died at the hands of one of his brothers. Whether he's seen it coming or he didn't, or he thought he was safe and he thought he was protected, it's the concept of, it's just the basic concept of, you're always going to be taken out by the hands of your own kind, your own brother. It's always the people that you trust the most is going to be the ones that stab you in the back and do you dirty. Why is that, though? Why does it always have to be that? And I'm not talking about gang politics. I'm talking about just in general. I see so many people on social media, just regular civilians, be like, hey, bro, man, I thought I could trust my family, but I guess I can't. They'll post it on Facebook. Hey, man, be careful of the people that you keep in your circle. Those are the ones that want to see your downfall the most. You'll see a lot of people talk about that today and social media. It's always the people you keep close. It's always the people you would have never thought. It's always the people that you trust. I'm pretty sure there's a Bible scripture that talks about that too. I just don't know the Bible for. I'm not too familiar with the Bible, but wanted to drop this quick little video. I'm gonna go get into the other video about the sureño that got caught slipping in the Merced Norteño hood, man. So with that being said, like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. Peace.